Hello, my name is TheFourthDimension. Today, my classmates and I, Andres Salazar and Fernanda Sanchez, are going to be talking about what our theories of the fourth dimension are based off research. Now, to fully understand what the fourth dimension is, we have to be able to understand what the first, second, and third dimensions are. Here's my classmates explaining what they are.
Hello, my name is Fernanda Sanchez and I will be explaining the first dimension. To understand the first dimension, let's use this journal as an example. If theoretically there was an organism living in the first dimension, it would only be able to move forward and backward.
Two-dimensional or 2D shapes can be defined as a flat figure or have a shape that has two dimensions, length and width. Two-dimensional or 2D shapes don't have any thickness. 2D figures can be classified on the basis of the dimensions they have.
Now, we live in a third-dimensional world, although we perceive to view things in the second dimension. Take the sphere, for example. You don't know it's a third-dimensional object, but you perceive it is because you see the hues of light shining upon it. Now, let's say the sphere is moving farther or closer to you. You don't know it's moving farther or closer to you, but you perceive it is because it's getting smaller or larger. Now, let's say the sphere was to get larger at the same amount of speed that it is getting farther away from you. You wouldn't be able to tell that it's getting smaller or larger or farther or closer because it's moving at the exact same rate. Although someone in the fourth dimension will be able to see it clearly because they are able to view our world just as we are able to view the second dimension and the second to the first dimension. Now, the fourth dimension is slightly different than all the other previous dimensions. We know that the second dimension is made up of a lot of first dimensions stacked upon each other. The same thing with the third dimensions and the seconds. Now, we can't really just stack the third dimensions upon each other like building blocks, because that'll just make a fairly larger third dimension. The fourth dimension is a little more complex, and this is what we think it might look like. As you can see, it's not quite stacked upon each other, it goes through each other. Now, keep in mind that we cannot physically comprehend what a fourth dimension looks like or what a fourth dimensional object looks like. This is all just theoretical. Now that we are theoretically speaking, let's assume that there's an infinite amount of dimensions. Now, a common misconception is that the fourth dimension is time, which quite frankly doesn't make sense because every dimension has time in it, and if it follows a pattern, that makes the fourth dimension unique in some way, which doesn't really make sense either. The fourth dimension is quite a complex subject to talk about due to the reason that we have no idea what it is or what it could look like or be like. But I hope this video gave you some understanding or idea of what the fourth dimension could possibly be.